Bowman here from BW1.com. I want to talk about the price drop on the Nintendo 3DS, going all the way from $249.99 down to $169.99 starting on August 12th. I want to commend Nintendo. It's pretty cool for the 3DS ambassadors that they're calling, or the people that spend $250 on the device initially. They're going to get about 20 free games starting on September 1st, ranging from a ton of Virtual Console NES games and some Game Boy Advance games that are going to be exclusive to them that aren't going to be released to the general public, which is pretty cool. Now I want to talk about some of the reasons why this price drop is happening. Obviously for the weak sales of the 3DS, and there's a number of factors for those weak sales. I think one of the things, I don't think it's the biggest thing, but it's one of the parts of it is the price of the console at being at $250. And a lot of people, you know, for when it's a portable console, they definitely want it at a much lower price. They value it a lot lower in their minds. And although this does have, you know, almost the power of a full console, and Nintendo really didn't do a very good job of really proving why it was worth the $250 when they initially launched it. And that's going to lead into my next thing, which is pretty much the marketing of the device. They didn't do a very good job, I felt, marketing it. They did have some commercials out there, and you had pretty much the only real good launch title, which was Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition, that they had that promoting out there pretty much to promote the 3DS, but I felt they didn't really do a lot other than, you know, it's 3D, and they were trying to run on that 3D trick pony, as I like to call it. They like to use that, you know, 3D tagline, since it's such a big, sort of a big name right now in sort of the consumer electronic market. I really wish they would have really went back and maybe even showed the history of why they dominate the portable console market all the way from the original Game Boy to Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, well, Game Boy Color, then Pocket Game Boy, then Game Boy Advance SP, Game Boy Micro, Nintendo DS, all the way through there, just showing they went from here all the way to, you know, having a, you know, the power of a console, portable and 3D technology. I mean, that's pretty amazing if you think about it in today's world, that you're able to get this on here. And I don't think they did a good job in pretty much selling it to people. They were just trying to sell on the 3D. Very disappointing there. Another thing, weak launch lineup. There really wasn't any good games out there. Really, just Super Street Fighter was really one. The only other good game that's out right now is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time 3D, and that's a remake, and it's good. But you know, all the heavy hitters are going to be coming now in the fall, which is a good thing that they're going to be coming finally, and they're pretty much doing a price drop with that to kind of make sure that these AAA titles really do well, and they're going to sell consoles with these AAA titles, and hopefully people will kind of catch on with it there. But Nintendo just disappointed me in a lot of those things right there. And what I mean by when I originally said they didn't prove the cost of it, I like to use sort of the iPad as a comparison of it. Now, I'm not comparing the iPad to this because these do totally different things. But what I really mean there is, like, you look at something like the iPad or even tablets in general, that you know, for what they do and what the costs that they are, they're not really something that's sort of a necessity out there. And there's a ton of tablets out there that even do more than what the iPad does, but the iPad is the leading tablet. Why is it the leading tablet at $500? It's because Apple does a great job of pretty much proving to people why it's worth this cost and how does it fit into their lives. And I think that's something that Nintendo didn't do a very good job with the 3DS in proving that 3D gaming is something that you have in your gaming life, or while you're, you know, in your gaming life, and they didn't really do a good job of really showing that. While Apple, you know, when I was talking about with the iPad, they show those commercials of the kids using it in a doctor's office and all these different things here. And those commercials right there show how it fits into your life, your work life, your personal life, or it just shows you there why it's worth to have it and why it's at its cost. And I don't think Nintendo did that very well with the 3DS. But I also want to commend Nintendo for their senior management pretty much taking the pay cut that they're taking because of the 3DS's failures, and they're taking the hit for it and not punishing those that are underneath them, which is something I wish RIM will learn how to do with their two CEOs and then cutting all those jobs. You see my article and my video about that, but you know, I commend Nintendo for they're taking the hit, and then they're going to sit there and take responsibility for it and make sure that the 3DS is a viable platform. I think that extra $30 is a knockoff to prove to investors that the 3D gaming and on a portable device is a viable platform and that it's sellable and we're going to make money off of it, and that's what Nintendo has to prove here with the 3DS. So it's going to be pretty interesting. What I want to know from you is, what do you think of the price drop? Where do you think Nintendo failed? And do you think the price drop is going to be a success? Or are you going to go out now and get a Nintendo 3DS? And also, out of all the 3DS videos that I've done, I noticed I didn't actually do a full 3DS review. Let me know if you want me to do a full review on the Nintendo 3DS. I think it's about time now that I can really do a full one. I'm waiting for some games to come out, some different features to be added onto it finally with Netflix and Nintendo Video and things like that. So let me know if you want me to do a full review. So this is Bowman here from BW1.com reminding you, subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on Twitter, become a fan of our Facebook fan page, and always remember to live your tech world in high definition.